Hi my loves and welcome to the Mum Boss Method podcast. I'm Chrissy Hiller and I'm the Mum Boss, and you are joining me for one of my Mum Boss at Home community check-ins. This is where my lovely ladies fill in their check-in forms for the week and I help them all out. So let's start with wins like we always do. So Sarah had a good few days where she stuck to her eating plan and calorie deficit perfectly and she didn't struggle. She's had a weekend where she wasn't able to stick to it, but now feels ready to start Monday's kickstart with a good mindset. She also ran her first 12k. Amazing. She ran 12k on Saturday and then she ran 6k with me on Sunday. And she's talking about the kickstart because I am running a free 5-day healthy habit kickstart which started today, Monday the 24th of June. So if you wanted to join that, you could sneak in and just check the show notes for the link for that, and you can pop on in. I don't mind. Okay, so Laura has given herself a 4. She said she's given herself a 4 on her scores in terms of how good it's gone. We score out of 7. She's scored but she scored amazing in all of the questions. She's had 3 family teas this week and one day she ate way over her calorie allowance, the other 2 just a little over, and she's scored amazing for all other things, so movement, etc. this week. And she took advice from me. She's added up her calories and thinks that she probably ate at maintenance last week overall. She's had a great time at the family get-togethers. She's not felt deprived. She's made some healthy choices but also had a few treats. She rarely does this. This is big for Laura. This is big. She does recognise that for the last 3 weeks she's been really busy with family events. She's eaten the same as everyone else when they're at her house and not been sitting with different food like she normally would. So these are all huge wins for Laura. So she's had a really social couple of weeks. Lots of time with people that she loves and, you know, some eating out and stuff. She's felt great this week, lots of energy, in a great mood and not tired. She's done 3 workouts and one being the one that she's away to do, and she's run 3 times, so loads of activity. So I just really want to acknowledge the massive mindset shifts that she's making there. Okay, Steph had a family party on Saturday with family she hasn't seen for 4 to 5 months, and she received many compliments on how she was looking. Although I know I've lost weight, it's always nice to hear that people can notice a clear change in my body and talk about the positive changes that I've made in my life. So whilst we don't do this for other people, we do it for ourselves. It's so lovely to hear that other people can see the differences that we're making as well. Claire had a less stressful week and her food was okay. Lisa went to a wedding. She did indeed. She was there with me and enjoyed herself without feeling guilt or anxiety. She didn't overeat or use it as an excuse to go mad. She had a great time with no hangover, no anxiety or beer fear. Amazing. Emma pushed herself to get out walking every day, even when she was super busy or it was too hot for her. Jackie had lots of stuff going on personally, but maintained healthy eating and exercise. And Jack, whilst being a moody hormonal witch, I've carried on moving and thinking about what I'm putting in my mouth. Went out for dinner, didn't finish the meal as I was full. Did take it away in a doggy bag though. Amazing. That's amazing. Well done. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go through some of the challenges and questions then. And one thing just to say is I didn't get very many check-ins today, and I know that the summer is busy. I know things are crazy, but what I would just remind you is if you don't check in, I don't know when you're struggling and I don't know when you might need help. So check-in happens at the same time every week. it really only has to take you 5 minutes. So just like I tell you to schedule time for you, schedule time for your check-in. 5 minutes on a Sunday. I bet you scrolled your phone for longer than 5 minutes on a Sunday. So please make time for it. And if you're avoiding doing it, I'd ask yourself the question, what are you actually avoiding? Okay, so some challenges and questions then. This one wasn't really a question, but I thought I would pick it up because I thought it was actually, a really good point. A few plans this week where sticking to my eating plan wasn't fully an option. And you know what? I used the word fully in my response when I was prepping this. This is fully okay. We can't control 100% of life, and why would we want to? It would be so boring. As much as we might think we're control freaks, you actually wouldn't want to control everything. So if you've been out, and I know this person has been out and had a nice weekend, if you're out all day, no one wants to be walking around with Tupperware in their handbag when you're having a family day out. So absolutely, that's fine. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to be okay with being out and not being able to control all of your food. That's absolutely fine. Okie dokie. Right. Next then. So this is just a little bit more progress. And the fact that I've already mentioned this person's name, you probably know who it is. But one day I did eat way over my calories. I had a cake and 3 biscuits. I probably could have had the cake and 1 biscuit. One day we went out for tea last minute. I only had 500 calories left for tea, which wasn't enough. I just had to choose the best I could. Again, I just want to acknowledge the massive progress that this is from someone who has done super restrictive diets in the past. Really, really proud of you. Well done. Okay, so Laura has been banned from the scales. I can mention your name on this bit, Laura, because I talked about it before. So Laura got banned from the scales, and she said, I'm past the 20th of June now, so I'm going to weigh myself if this is allowed. I love that you're asking my permission. Right, I've got a few things to say on this. You can, absolutely, but does it matter? And if it matters, why does it matter? How significant is what that number says? How significant? How important is it? And if it's important, why is it important? So before you hop on those scales, I think you should reflect on the pros and cons of weighing and not weighing, especially seeing as you're going away for the weekend. What I don't want you to do is weigh yourself just before you go on holiday and weigh yourself when you get back. And because you've probably had, you've said you're going to have a takeaway and stuff like that, then be up a couple of pounds and then unravel your mindset. So I definitely think you should reflect on the pros and cons of weighing and not weighing. I think you should reflect on what you've learned over the past 4 weeks where I banned you from the scales. What's changed for you? How do you feel in yourself? How do you feel in your clothes? Can you take some progress pictures as well as weighing? I really think this has been really good for you, and I just wonder how useful it is to hop back on those scales, because you are so fixated on that number, and I don't know that it's useful for you, but I want you to do what is right for you. Okay, next, what have we got next? Okay, I've generally eaten okay for my breakfast, lunch and dinner this week, and continue to make good choices when I'm out of the house, and it seems to come quite naturally, which I'm pleased with. But I've definitely used the excuse this week. I've eaten a healthy lunch, so a bit of chocolate or a piece of cake won't hurt. So I think I'm going to go back to calorie counting it again through MyFitnessPal, as seeing it in front of my eyes, what I've consumed will make me want to stick within my range and not have that sweet treat will no doubt, and having the sweet treat that will no doubt take me over. And this is absolutely fine. Look, one thing that I always say is I don't want you tracking for the rest of your life. It's not necessary. I think you've taken about a month off of tracking, give or take. I'm just saying that from memory. So if you want to go back to it and tighten things up, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. You are also going to be half marathon training soon. And so we would need to readjust your calories anyway. So that's fine. Loved this question. Gosh, I could talk about this all day. Are scales apps for measuring body fat worth using to understand what body fat I'm losing? I feel like I want to understand body fat loss versus muscle gain, as I appreciate the scales and not the whole picture. Or what is the best way? Or is the best way really via our measurements? So, answer to that first part, nope. The scales that tell you they're measuring body fat or the apps aren't accurate, and they can't be accurate. And I have this discussion with my husband all the time, and because he uses the scanner at the gym, and he always says to me, but surely I'm using the same scanner. I said it's a scanner, it's just a set of scales. I'm using the same scales, so it's just comparing itself to itself. And my point is, but if it's not accurate, so excuse me, I've got the hiccups, I've just drunk some Diet Coke. Those body fat scales, you stand on them and they send like an electric current through your feet that's meant to go through your body, measure your body fat, and then report on it. The problem is, it can't go through your whole body. The one at our gym as well, you have little handles that you hold on to with like electrode bits on it. They're not accurate. So I wouldn't bother investing in ones that tell you your body fat, or really take much use of it if you've already got them. If you want to understand how much body fat you're losing, the best way is through your measurements and your pictures, and ideally like doing the whole, the measurements, the pictures and the weight, because still with measurements there is a degree of inaccuracy because you might measure in a different place each time. Honestly, your pictures are going to be what shows you the biggest amount of fat loss. So I'm going to send in our WhatsApp group some pictures of me that will show you fat loss and why this is so helpful. So use pictures, use your clothes. That's really going to help you to see it. Many of you still don't add pictures to the app, and many of you don't put your weight or your measurements on the app if you are people that weigh and measure. And I'm going to talk about this in a little while, but again, just to reassure you, I'm the only one that can see those pictures. Luckily enough, quite a few of you in this group I see anyway, because you come to my boot camps and stuff, so I can see it in you, but you often don't see it in yourself. Okie dokie. What supplements would you recommend to support perimenopause and improving overall energy? So there is very little research to back up any supplements that are helpful in menopause. Remember, the word supplement in itself, they're designed to supplement your diet. Not to replace good nutrition and movement, which are the things that will give you energy. There are, however, a few things that I would generally recommend. Vitamin D, because we live in a place where the sun don't shine. Vitamin B12 if you are veggie or vegan. And creatine monohydrate for everyone, which will help with your strength and your power. Also, research has shown that it's really good for brain function, so therefore good for perimenopause, particularly if you have things like brain fog. So I have used creatine monohydrate for years, and if I forget it for a couple of days, I notice my brain fog gets worse. So please don't go out spending a load of money on supplements that tell you they are good for menopause, or they have before the title of the name. They're a waste of money. Evidence does not show that they help. So if you want to increase your energy, good nutrition, move your body, and then those things, and focus on sleep. Those are the few things that I've mentioned. Okay, so this person said, I had a planned takeaway that I didn't track, but 2 unplanned meals out. Both my idea though. I feel it spoiled the rest of the week. So what I would say is, has it truly spoiled the rest of the week, or is this your all or nothing mentality talking? So, and if you feel like it spoiled the week, is it the meal that spoiled the week, or is it your actions, behaviours and mindset following the meals? So, for example, one of the comments earlier was about, someone going way over their calories, and they've worked out they've probably eaten at maintenance this week. Okay, so if let's say your top end calorie range is 1500 and you eat up to 2000, right? You're in maintenance for that day. Has that truly spoiled the rest of the week if for the other 6 days of the week you stuck to your calorie deficit? Or did going up to maintenance and eating 500 extra calories that day mean that then the next morning you went, oh, well, I've ruined it anyway, so I'm just going to go and eat this. And then the next day you went, oh, well, I've done 2 days of ruining, so now I may as well write off the rest of the week. Because there's a very big difference. 2 meals should not ruin the whole of your week, unless you are going for it. In order to knock out your whole calorie deficit for the week, those 2 meals between them would need to be about 3,500 calories. So to put you in maintenance. So consider this. Is it the meals, or is it your mindset, actions and behaviours that have ruined the week? And then when you work out which one it is, you can address that. I feel like I'm working out and sticking to calories more than ever before. I can lift heavier, I can walk longer, I'm much fitter, but apparently no fat loss. Only tiny visible changes like my jawline. What's up with that? Okay, it's always really hard for me to comment on anyone's progress if they don't give me the data, like weight if you're allowed to weigh, measurements and pictures. And so this person hasn't put those into the app. The fact that you see changes in your jawline mean that you are losing body fat. Unfortunately, we can't tell our body that our jawline is not where we want to lose the body fat from. I've been in a calorie deficit for nearly 2 weeks, and where can I see it? My shoulders and my arms and my collarbone. I don't need really to lose any more body fat on my shoulders and my arms and my collarbone. I need to lose it around my thighs, but that's not the place it goes from first. We can't tell our body where to take the body fat from. So please take pictures, please take measurements, please update the app with all of these, because when you then feed back or put in your check-in that you're not seeing any progress, I can't comment other than a really general what this is, because you never see on yourself what others see on you. So please use me for the support that I'm offering you and give me your data. Okay, so if you're not recording the data for me, but you're saying you don't think you're losing body fat, where are you recording it and what are you basing your progress on? Are you basing this on just looking in the mirror? In which case, you are not going to see what other people see. So like I said, as much as it coming from your jawline is bloody annoying, it's still coming off. But I need to see pictures and data to be able to make... I'm not going to make any changes to anyone's calories until I see all of the data. Have a watch also of the What's Going On with the Scales masterclass, because that will talk to you about all of the things you need to make sure you're doing in order to know why you might not be losing fat. But again, I refer back to, we don't really know that you're not losing fat because you haven't added your measurements. And you might be looking at your own measurements, but you've not shown them to me, so I can't see. And then remember, we want to see a loss over time. 1 or 2 weeks is not enough. So I can absolutely help you, but can you send me some data so I can see? And then the other thing to think about is, you've also mentioned in your check-in that you've had one planned takeaway that wasn't tracked. So again, whilst I maintain that you probably haven't knocked out your calorie deficit by a couple of meals out, if you've had 2 meals out and 1 takeaway and you've not tracked them, or you've not tracked them accurately, how do we know that you have been in a deficit? So yes, I agree. You are walking more, you are exercising more, you're tracking more, you're also a small woman. And so food quality and tracking accuracy really makes a difference, as do steps. So ideally, I'd like to start seeing your steps being pushed up, but give me the data and I can give you more specific support. And you are a Last Diet Club person as well, so you can reach out there. Okay, right, do you know what? That's everything, because we just didn't have very many check-ins this week. So I feel like, that's it really. Sorry about that. Well, I don't know why I'm saying sorry. I didn't miss my check-in. Thank you very much for listening, and I'm going to let you go. If you want to know how you can work with me, check the show notes, come and reach out, and I will see you soon.